what was going through your mind? How nervous were you? What were you afraid of before kind of walking in for that procedure?
I mean, we're on balls deep and we're talking about balls, and you know, it's not a fun subject to talk about somebody manhandling. In your case, I actually looked for a female urologist and got doubly nervous. So I was like, well, she doesn't have balls, right? And so I don't care how long you've been at school, like, you know that one little sideways tap is how you correct your buddies when they say something wrong.
For
It
real.
doesn't have to be a very hard tap.
No, it does not.
And so I ended up settling on, well, let me look at review scores, and I'm probably going to go with a guy in this scenario.
Yeah. So certainly pain was a concern. Was there anything else you were afraid of, or sort of before you started diving into it, myths you had heard about a vasectomy that concerned you?
The swelling potential, the failure potential, bleeding, you know, all the not fun things. And, you know, swelling around your testicles would have been less than ideal.
Yes.
And so, you know, just making sure that whoever was going to do this vasectomy process had done it a billion times, could do it in their sleep, and, you know, felt very safe
Would you
about
be willing to share what your experience was like?
Are you sure?
Please do. I'm looking forward to this.
So there I was, up to my elbows in scalpels because he didn't have a sharp one. No, I'm kidding. I think it was a no scalpel vasectomy, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but it sounded intriguing. I'm pretty sure he used his teeth. He was down there for I asked. He was down there for quite a while. I'm not sure what was happening. Some level of inspection. No, I'm totally teasing. Yeah. So the summary is, and I want to get into the details, but just so we summarize for the guys who want to skip all this nonsense, it was a non-event. I mean, I went in. I did with you the inspection. What do you call it? The
laughing gas, the nitrous oxide.
No, before that,
first did the consultation. Right?
Consultation,
did
same day as the vasectomy, which was a breeze. That was, 30 minutes, and you asked me all these questions to make sure I was making this decision with the education that I needed, which I really appreciated, and taught me some things I didn't know. 30 minutes later, I'm, on the table in my skivvies, or actually without skivvies. I was wearing a skirt at that point.
I'm pretty sure there's nothing below the belt when we did this. Yeah.
Yeah. I tried to block that out. And so then he walks back in. He does the snap with the gloves just for, effect, I think.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Tells all the nurses to leave, which is when I got really, no, he didn't. I'm kidding. But it really was a non-event. I mean, truly, I think it was maybe 10 minutes. The numbing was almost instant. I didn't even feel, any stabs or any of that stuff. I think you did topical or something. I wish I knew more about it, but it happened so quick and painlessly. I went for the gas. The gas was a trip, man. That was so cool. I've never gotten that high that fast and then that sober, like sort of immediately after. I mean, I felt great.
It's pretty neat stuff, for sure.
So for the 15 minutes I needed it, and I get some people are against getting high or any of those. This is really different. You get this, it's 5-10 minutes. You control your own level. And I really kind of got to blank out, which was hilarious when I get to the stories that we were talking most of the time. I don't remember a lot of that. So,
yeah,
I have my version of the story, but yours is probably different. But yeah, so I mean, from, let's call it laying down on the table to getting off the table, there was, for me, no pain, no discomfort, no weird pinching, none of that stuff. It was maybe 10 minutes, and I felt right as the rain afterwards.
Yeah. And we still talk today.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're obviously one of my favorite people because, well, you're very gentle.
We'll get into your weightlifting regime
cool.
at another episode. What did this mean to your partner? Going in, I don't think guys appreciate that women really take on this burden of contraception.
Yeah.
What did it mean to her?
No hormones had to be, put through her body, which there's a litany of, weight gain and potential for cancer and all these risks. Right. And, I respect medicine and your field quite a bit. I will never say it's a bad thing, but if you can do it without extra pharmaceuticals and extra things, then you should at least consider that. And so that was probably the biggest relief, was knowing after we did, multiple sperm tests and all those things, that I was clean, not having to think about that anymore at all. And it was very relaxing. Sex is better when you don't have to worry about it. Sex is better when there's not artificial hormones tricking her body into some other state. It was It was just like freedom is the only way I could maybe describe it in one word.
So vasectomy equals better sex is the key
100%.
line there.
And a lot more.
Yeah.
A lot more. Yeah.
Well, seriously, I mean, I think it shows women that you care about them and you're committed about their health and their quality of life.
Totally.
I mean, it's, you want to turn on a woman, clean the dishes. You know?
Totally.
And, this is the ultimate sort of, honeydew list of, he manned up and took one for her.
Yeah, totally. And like you said before, there's no oopsies happening inside or outside the relationship.
Yep.
Whether, I'm not judging any man, but if
Yep.
that's a thing, you're cleaning that up right away.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Balls Deep. If you'd like to join our stream team of listeners, please click the subscribe button on your favorite podcast platform. For more information about our practice, Pazona MD, please visit pazonamd.com. This podcast is for informational purposes only, and the content is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice. The show does not constitute the practice of medicine. No doctor-patient relationship is formed through this podcast or any of the social media channels related to this show. The use of this information is at the user's own risk. Users should not disregard or delay in obtaining medical advice from any medical condition they have, and they should seek the assistance of their healthcare professionals for any such conditions.